Okay, problem 4 is on page 102, I believe. Let me double check that. Yes, this is the first one on that page. And it asks us which graph represents the function x squared plus 2x minus 8. So let's take a look at our function first and figure out what we can from that. So the function, I'm just copying it over here. We don't have to evaluate these. We could do a table of values of inputs and go from there, but I don't think that's going to be necessary. So remember the function format for a quadratic is ax squared plus bx plus c. That is the general quadratic format. And our function is in that form. That's a very good thing for us. So I'm going to write these variables down, and I think I need to probably put those in a variable box, we call them, in my class. This is not a proper math term. But that just keeps them separate from the math problem. We don't want these to get mixed up in any kind of calculation. So when I go to look for that a value, it's nothing there. We know that a can never be 0. But a is not 0. Remember, if you don't see the coefficient of a for that term, you can put a 1 there, and that will be fine. So a in this problem is not 0. It's actually an invisible 1, but it's there. Okay. B in this problem is the 2. It's sitting right in front of the x. And then C, this is the question Andrew asked yesterday. You can use I'm just going to go with it here. But Andrew, this is the question you asked me if you're listening. C is negative 8. Okay. So given those values of A and B and C, I can tell you what my graph should look like. First of all, A is positive. So the slope of this parabola, it's not the slope, it's the shape of the parabola. This is a bowl that opens upward. This parabola is smiling. It's not frowning. It's a positive parabola. And then C is giving me the y-intercept. This is where that parabola crosses y at negative 8. So it crosses below the x-axis at negative 8. All right, let's look at our graphs. This parabola is frowning, so it is not the one we're looking for. The parabola, it does cross y at negative 8, but it is opening downward. We're looking for a smiling parabola. Okay, this fella is a smiling parabola, but we have to look at where it crosses the y-axis. Now, they're trying to trick you here. This part's correct. They want you to focus on the minimum of the parabola, which is actually at negative 9. But that's not where it's crossing y. It's crossing y at negative 8. So the negative 8 is also good to go. Let's look at the rest of them though. This is a smiling parabola, that's what we want, but it crosses y at positive 8. And that is not okay. That's not what we're looking for. This is above the x-axis. This is a frowning parabola, so right there we're off. He does cross at, no, that's positive 8 still. So this one fails on both counts. This fellow's smiling, that's good, but he doesn't touch the y-axis. And we know that's not true because we're looking for something that touches the y-axis at -8. So that's a failure on that part. The one that passes both, and let me rewrite this fella the right way. This parabola is frowning, so that's not good. It does have -8. That's a positive thing, but we have to have a match on both. The answer's B. If you know how to read that format, the A's and B's and C's, you can figure these graphs out.